All right, welcome back, guys. This is the second video that I am doing today, and this time is a video about Crowdstrike's earnings, which also just released last night. So if you haven't watched already, I just posted a video about Nvidia earlier. You should be able to see it inside the video history just right before this. So if you are interested in Nvidia, be sure to watch that video. But for this particular video, what we are going to focus on is Crowdstrike, because they also dip after their earnings, right? So we are going to do the same analysis, right? We're going to look into whether what's next, right? Is it an opportunity or not, or is it warranted the drop? Okay. So before I share, once again, we appreciate if you could like this video. If this video, if you want to see more of me posting such video, it will really help me to push out a lot more content, and also be sure to subscribe to this channel as well. Okay. And again, for the our community, right? If I've already done up the valuation and done up the buy points and share inside Facebook and Discord. So be sure to check them out over there. Okay, now let's look at the results. So you guys can see again, fantastic results. Everything beat. This is like even better than Nvidia, right? Every single thing beat the guidance, the current results. And based on their next quarter guidance, right, you can see that full year revenue also just slightly missed, not say totally missed everything, but again, they raised their annual earnings guidance, raised their annual earnings per share also. So you can see everything is fantastic. Results is very fantastic. Now, what do we see again? Okay, we can see that after hours it dropped 4%, okay, to $404. And even before it was dropped 4%, it actually dropped even lower, okay, to $390. And then it recovered back to $405. So what happened? Okay, what caused this drop? Again, the two questions that we ask is number one, why? And number two, does it make sense? Okay, asking these two questions gives us an understanding, and at the same time it helps you and me both to build conviction to understand whether is it warranted or is it an opportunity. Okay, now again, number one, why did it drop? Okay, the main reason is just now earlier you shared, right? What earlier we shared, right? It's actually for this part over here where they slightly missed estimates. It's just because they guide slightly lower. Okay, that's why they miss. And why? Is because you see, this is what the market, the news say, when you go and Google it. CrowdStrike stock numbers on weak revenue outlook. I don't know how they define weak. Okay, amid IT outage fallout. Guys, one thing they failed to announce in this title, this fall is 2024. Guys, it's not just last week or last month. It's 2024. It's 1 year ago, actually more than 1 year ago already. But right now, they are still recovering from it, right? Because they are still, and I'll share a bit more later. And just read this, with many Wall Street analysts still focus on the lingering impact. Like, come on, guys. Okay, but never mind. Okay, let's keep an open mind. Let's go and see why they're focusing on this. Okay, so if you guys don't know, in 2024 there was a massive outage. You can see in 19 July. Okay, they distribute a faulty update to its sensor security software, and then literally the whole it caused error throughout the world, in airports and things like that. So this was actually a very big incident that happened back in 2024, which affected CrowdStrike, and the share price totally tank at that point in time. Okay, but guys, I want you to think from that angle. The fact that you see appear in so many, even in airports and all, guys, you kind of like know, they say it's a worldwide outage, but if you think about it, this means that CrowdStrike has a lot of big global worldwide customers, right? Sorry. Okay, that's one point. Second point, if they have really experienced this issue, this faulty update, think about it. Do you think they'll be even more careful on preventing this or not? Right. Okay. It's like a once bitten, twice shy thing. So just think about it from the other perspective, and don't let this incident cloud you from this company, the level of quality of this company. Okay. So what did they say actually? They said CrowdStrike predicted revenue in the range of 1.208 to 1.218 versus estimates of 1.228. So you see, guys, this the analysts, how they put the estimates, we have no idea as well how they actually pull those estimates. Okay, but you can see that the revenue guidance, hey, it's not very very bad lah, guys. I think the difference is probably just like 10 million, no, the 10 million difference, right? And then people were not happy with their results. Okay, so again, this is what this analyst said, right? RBC Capital, this guy, he said Q3 guidance came in lower than the word is expectation, and the expectations came from where? It came from people on Wall Street. came lower than expectation for revenue and in line to above expectations for profitability. So a bit funny, right? Right. Okay, Q3 guidance came in lower and therefore revenue, but profitability came above, so the market sold down. Right. So a bit don't link, like it does don't link lah. Okay, you see like my finger, my thumb, and my pinky cannot link. Okay. So and then it said though revenue guidance were only based on the lower end of the range. Okay. So this is what one of the analysts said. Okay, now exactly, so now we're going to the earnings transcript already. So what they said is the revenue guidance also assumes a wider than typical range lah. So they're being a bit conservative as a result of our successful CCP and related partner program. So now what is CCP? CCP is basically, the outage that they had last year. What they do is they give this a rebate program. It's called customer care program, if I'm not wrong. Okay, to kind of like ensure that these customer don't like cancel Crowdstrike. Like this, like kind of like a reimbursement. Hey, sorry for this happening. We are creating this program for you to kind of like protect lah. So what they say is our ARR, which is the annual recurring revenue, which is the important measure that you look at for Crowdstrike, includes a separation of 10 to 15 million per quarter. This means is this that basically means, right, the quarter until Q4, which is another 2 more quarters, there'll be this impact to the revenue of 10 to 15 million lah. Okay, but you can see when this impact begins to subside, we ask that you please reflect. Basically, he's telling the analyst that this impact will subside. Okay, and take note, it's really been 1 year already. And notice how the price, right, throughout the period of the incident happening until now, 1 year already, how has the share price moved? Okay, I want you guys to take note of how the share price has moved. Okay, now let's continue looking on. Now, the next question is, does it make sense? Okay, now so let's look at this. Now, so for modules, what are modules? Modules are basically, systems or process in CrowdStrike's overall ecosystem. So maybe the first module is like system A. Okay, so a customer sign for first module first. Then they will sign system B, system C, system D, so on and so forth lah. So Crowdstrike has a lot of modules. Like in the whole cybersecurity spectrum, right? They have a lot of systems and options and things for customers to sign. So these are like the number of things that customers sign. So they call it module adoption rate. So you can see 5 plus, 8 plus, 5 plus, 6 plus, 7 plus, 8 plus, according to the color. So the highest is 5 lah. So accordingly, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so you can see the 5 they have discontinued. But what do you notice? That since 2022, right, the module adoption rate every quarter, right, in terms of the percentage of customer has been increasing. Right, it has been on an uptrend. Right, the 5 plus module. 6 plus, you can see for 3 quarters, guys, is stagnant at 48%. But don't forget, they are signing new customers. So if you think from the bottom line, even though my percentage is same, I have new customer. Actually, I have more customer that are signing up. Okay, so for the 6 plus module. Now, if you look at the 7 plus module and 8 plus module, you can see it's still, the number of customers are still increasing. Okay, of course, slightly slower, right? In 32%, and then go up to recently, most quarter, now 33%. For the July 2025, again, the latest quarter, it up by 23%. So basically, what this means, what this means that more customers are using, their modules, right? And when more customers use their modules, what does it mean? It becomes, CrowdStrike just becomes even stickier, right? It gets very hard for the customer to get out of the platform, because the more you use, the more integrated you are in a system, in an ecosystem, right? The harder it is for you to get out. So think of it as Apple, right? If you're using the iPhone, the MacBook, the AirPods, the watch, right? You have these like your 4 modules. It's all within the ecosystem. Meaning you want to pull, you have to pull everything out, right? So you see, the more modules you use, a customer use, the stickier it becomes. So it also proves that CrowdStrike is constantly creating new tools. They are constantly innovating, and they are doing a lot of R&D to attract a lot of new customer. Okay, so this is a good thing. Okay, this is what I want to see. If module starts to slow, then that is a problem. Okay, and then if we look at this term, which I want to share with you, is called remaining performance obligation. So what is this remaining performance obligation? This represents the total future revenue from its non-cancelable contracts. Basically, you think of customers, example, they want to pay in advance for 1 year and 2 year, right? Okay. And as if they want to pay in advance the revenue from 1 year later, the CrowdStrike, they cannot recognize the revenue yet, right? So where does this money come in? Okay, this money all gets parked inside here, right? This includes revenue from non-cancelable contract, unbilled and deferred revenue. They are not yet recognized. Okay, so this function as a key forward-looking indicator. okay, and gives us a lot of predictability. And what have we seen? Since then, you can see the RPO has been growing very, very nicely. Okay, so this is the actual value, and you can see this is the growth rate, guys. You can see the growth rate, right? Okay, it's getting better and better. Okay, it's also growing. So this is good because we want to see that they have a lot of backlog. Backlog means there's a lot of revenue that's tied behind because this gives us insight into the revenue ahead. And then we look at the revenue. Okay, so you see, again, the revenue is growing very nicely. And you can see the growth naturally as the numbers get bigger, the percentage will drop. But I want to bring you guys to this part over here, the latest quarter. Can you see they were actually growing year on year at 20%, and now they accelerated to 21%, re-accelerated. You see, revenue growth accelerated a bit. And what this is what George Kurtz, which is the CEO and the founder of Crowdstrike, okay, the key term is our re-acceleration, okay, driven largely by AI necessitated demand for the Falcon platform. Okay, think about it. As more customers also adopt AI, the use of cybersecurity will always be there. It's going to be a very, very important thing. Okay, especially if you're the leader, you constantly are innovating and new modules. It just makes your product even stickier. Okay, we've talked about re-acceleration coming back in the back half of the year. So actually, he said it's only going to come Q3, Q4, but actually it came earlier. It came in Q2. Okay, so this is a good sign. Okay, revenue growth accelerating. Okay, and you can see annual revenue, recurring revenue, the ARR which I shared, was also increasing, right? Look, our guidance now assume the back half net new AR will grow at least 40%. At least 40%. Just now what you see, the revenue growth alone, okay, is actually growing 20%. The ARR is also growing about 20%. And now they said that the net new in the second half will grow 40%. Right, this is a acceleration. Okay, and that's why you see just now when they report the earnings, even though there was a dip to 370, it recovered back. It was because of this, because they said that there will be acceleration in the new ARR. Okay, and you can see growth ending ARR to be 22 percent. Okay, and this is the one where we talked briefly about the outage, right? We made an investment in our partners through this program that has paid off, and it has helped us to sustain our high retention rate. That means the customers are staying with them and accelerating net new ARR. Okay, and this impact, right, is going to subside in Q4. So another 2 more quarters. Okay, and you can see making those investments really paid off for us. Okay, so you see, interestingly, the past 1 year, right, you see they have been trying to fix it, which in the early days is even more worse, right? They're trying to fix more stuff, right? But now is going to finish soon already, like, right? Going to finish soon, and then after these earnings, it got sold down, right? So then you start to ask yourself, does it make sense or not? Over the past year, the price has been increasing. They've been fixing it when it was a worse state. Now it's going to get better soon, and the price will not after earnings. So then the question comes to you: does it make sense or not? Okay, and you can see annual recurring revenue again, very, very nice, straight up. Okay, very, very beautiful chart. Okay, now concerns. Now you see, ARR is going to grow 40%. You saw revenue was 20%, right? And this was a concern asked by these analysts. Okay, so the question is this, you sum it up, right? Basically, the main thing is asking is this, how sustainable is this acceleration of growth? So what did the CEO said about this? Okay, so the first part is what they cover the financial before this, but I want you to focus on what the CEO is saying. I spend day and night with customers. Okay, I like this because when the CEO is on the ground, I think it says a lot about the company. It's all about how we are solving problems that cannot be solved by other companies. How we are the number one security product for stopping breaches in some of the largest enterprise around the world, and how customers want to go in more and consolidate around CrowdStrike. Okay, so again, it's the same thing as what if you watch the NVIDIA video earlier, right? It's about confidence at the CEO. So you can see, right, I kind of look at the feedback that I get and look at the threat environment. Okay, we have one of the largest incident response practice in the world, and we are helping non-customer clean breaches for other technology that thought they were getting good deal on. So you can see, it's like you to me, right? That's why you can see it gives. That's also why he gets confident in the back half. So you can see that what the CEO says, right, also will give you confidence in the business as well. Okay, so to me, when the CEO says that, right, it gives confidence, especially when it's backed up by the financials as well. Now, if you want to do the valuations, okay, so for you, right, I think if you are interested to do the valuations, take a look at their target operating model. I think that this is something that they share in their investor presentation as well. So, you can look at the valuations based on this, right, to go and forecast the valuations ahead. Okay, for those in the community, you can check out my reference. You can check out the buy range I've set and the valuations that I've done for you. But at the end of the day, right, I want you guys to just look at this chart, lah, right? Simple as that. Again, remember, right, it's always about zooming out. Okay, you can see past 5 years how much it has grown. This dip, okay, this dip was when the outage happened, lah. So you can see it dip, right? But what happened after that? It was up. Okay, this dip was a tariff, but it recovered back and it go up. Okay, so you realize in the long term, you see, right, even though this drop is just a blip, right? So the whole idea is that when we see this kind of things, right, okay, you have to always ask yourself, number one, why is it happening? Is it logical or not? Okay, you cannot be scared just because it dropped. Similarly, if it goes up, you also cannot be euphoric and think like, oh, it was wonderful, right? We must look at both perspectives. Why it dropped and does it make sense? And the other side also, if it go up, why it go up and does it make sense? Because once you have that, you can build your conviction and you're able to have a better forecast of the company's forward earnings, whether they can achieve it, whether it's reasonable. Okay. But that's all that I have. I hope that this video has helped you guys to understand more about Crowdstrike. So once again, if you like this kind of videos, be sure to like this video and subscribe to us. And yeah, I hope that this has helped you to learn something about Crowdstrike as well. Okay, so that's all and have a good day ahead.